Nope. No, Tony. I don't think so. I'm not buying this shit at all. A year ago, I talked about DeAngelo. Like he was put on waivers and bought out by the Rangers for having an altercation with Alex Georgiev. But before that, he had attitude problems and all that stuff. Before the altercation, Jeff Gordon basically told him that if any more problems happen, they're gonna let him go. Then the altercation with Georgiev happened. Although, now that we're talking about that, I will mention that behind the scenes, DeAngelo told Georgiev to make a fucking save, and then it got Georgiev mad. I mean, early I mentioned that you can't that it's not the goalie's fault, and even if it was, you can't take it out on him. Now this was a guy that dominated, that had 50 points as a defenseman, including a hat trick. Now, normally when moves like this are happen, I usually get upset, but this time around, I respected that move because what DeAngelo did was bad, and I'm pretty sure I did mention that he had a history of making racist and homophobic slurs back in the OHL, abusing the refs at times, being a Trump supporter, not taking COVID seriously by making a tweet by saying whatever happened to COVID-19 and behavior issues in the past. It's like he had a history of things. After DeAngelo was gone, I basically stated that I wouldn't be surprised that if it was the end for him and that he's never going to change. After seeing his history in the past, it looked impossible. So then in the off season, the Carolina Hurricanes signed him for a year. And when that happened, I was like, no, Carolina, DeAngelo doesn't get to play anymore. He doesn't get to play hockey anymore. He has already broken that trust with the entire community because you let him play and then more history gets added to him. It was one of the many bad moves Carolina made that were controversial to Canes fans. Of course, the others being trading their future goalie Nedeljkovic for Jonathan Bernier in a third, and letting Dougie Hamilton, a favorite, walk in free agency. And you may be asking how he did this season in Carolina. He returned to form and scored at least 50 points. Okay, fine. He had moments of anger as expected. So like throwing a stick at a Bruins player in the playoffs, starting fights, usual, but nothing very serious. And now he has been traded for 3 draft picks to the Philadelphia Flyers. Now the Flyers have known to make bad moves this past season, such as trading a first for Rasmus Ristolainen, and then extended him for 5 years despite being the worst defenseman of the league. And not only, and this is another list added. But then he had an interview with the Flyers, and he had the audacity to say that he is not racist. Not only that, but he said that despite the altercation, he and Georgiev are still cool and are still friends. No, goddammit! After what you did, you don't get to be friends with Georgiev anymore. You don't get to be nice and friendly to him anymore. You have broken that trust. Because what if they play together again? The next time Georgiev does something wrong, DeAngelo would judge him again and will cause more altercations. He doesn't get to be friends with Georgiev anymore. And then he said that there were some things said about him that wasn't true, some of the stories were false, and that the person he is in Carolina will be the same in Philly. Now that is fine. That is fine for you to do this, Tony. If someone out here is lying about you and making false stories, you should defend yourself. But the biggest problem of all this is that you are willing to hide what you actually did. What you actually said. You said in this interview, I'm not going to go into these stories, but it was something that I regret. The things I said were wrong. I should have never said it, and I will do better. What were the things that you said? What were the things that you did? Why are you not telling the audience, the Flyers, what you actually did? Like, how can you come to this interview? How could you leave things in the past and try to better yourself and have the angry Flyer fans respect you if you can't even be honest with the Flyers, the community, on what you said and did? It's like, how can you say sorry by saying, I did bad things and I regret it, while leaving out all the details of everything that happened? So the Flyers players, management, owners, and fans don't know. So hockey fans don't know. So black people, gay people, people of different nationalities, genders, and sexuality don't know what you actually said and did. Why are you hiding the fucking details? If this was a one-time thing, I would have let that slide. But he had a history of doing this over and over and over again. It shows he doesn't hold accountability. He doesn't take responsibility. If he did, he would stop it permanently instead of repeating it. It's like this man has never learned, and he has only proven me and his haters right. I said that I didn't believe that he was going to change, and that has proven me more right than I ever been right. Like, at this point, you do realize that the draft picks the Hurricanes got in the trade look like steals now because of it. Stuff like this was the reason why the Rangers bought him out in the first place, despite how he plays on the ice. As I said, I made a post about DeAngelo when he was bought out and his incident with Georgiev. I basically said that I don't care if someone is the next Wayne Gretzky. If that person is a racist, sexist, homophobic, egotistical, hot-headed person with behavior issues, he cannot play. Saying that DeAngelo is not racist is like saying that Amber Heard was innocent, or that Hitler and the Germans loved Jewish people, or that ISIS is a group of freedom fighters who fight for freedom, or that Donald Trump is a great president, or that abolishing Roe v. Wade and taking some of the rights and freedom away from women and banning interracial marriage is a win. It's all bullshit. I know that the Flyers were thinking, oh, it's in the past. He's not like that now. He is worthy of playing with us. The worst of it is over. Well, don't forget that people said that the worst was over when they gave Hitler the Sudetenland. We all know Tony is going to cause more trouble. You know there will be more history. It's only a matter of when and how. And if he's not careful, he will never get another chance again. Look, Tony, if you want to work on yourself, if you want to hold yourself accountable, get a second chance in life, in your career, and you want people to forgive you and respect you, how about tell people what you actually said and did instead of hiding it? Because you're a manipulator and a liar. It's like, all of this is manipulation. And how do we know? Because it's because of what you said and did to the black players back in the OHL. There was proof of racial and homophobic slurs, and you got suspended for that. You are fucking sick for what you did back in the OHL and Georgiev, and now you're doing it to the entire world to get yourself out of trouble. You are literally playing the victim card, and it is disgusting. You can't just have one good season and assume that the whole world forgets what you did. Because they didn't, and certainly not me. We still remember, and we will remember that for years. If you want us to forgive you and respect you, playing like a god and throwing it all away doesn't make anything better. You gotta deal with it. You gotta own it. Hold responsibility, hold accountability, and tell the Flyer fans and the world what you did. You don't get to appear in this interview and be like, I didn't do this, and that's not true, but you won't tell them what you're guilty of, what you actually did. And that is so fucked up. To the Flyer fans that are upset about this, I feel your pain, and I'm really sorry. Now we just gotta pray that that the man he was in Carolina is like that in the Flyers, and not the controversial DeAngelo. And as a Ranger fan, I cannot mock or laugh at this, but only lament. The Flyers are really making a mistake signing DeAngelo.